Welcome to Chris and Carlette Live, a podcast about life, love, and overcoming obstacles. Each week, we discuss the good, the bad, and the indifferent of life's interruptions. Now, here's your host, Chris and Carlette.
Keep believing, don't go stressing, keep it moving. God, we're resting, here to help you, here to bless you. With God on our side, CNC Life.
All right, we are back with season number 2.
Season 2,
episode 8.
8.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
There you
Well,
go.
we have a guest waiting, but I don't want to prolong the time. But we had asked me what I did for the last week.
What did you do last week?
My son and I went to Miami
Yep, you did. Mm-hmm.
for his birthday because it was his winter break. His birthday is actually in March, but we went to let me mute this one right here. We went to Miami for his birthday because this is his winter break, and we had a father and son trip, which was fantabulous.
Who told you to do that? Where you get that idea from?
I did.
You know the Lord loves the truth. I'll tell you what he does. He loves the truth.
So let me get through some of these pictures.
He still won't tell. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Stop it. No, my lovely wife recommended. That's another show, though. My lovely wife recommended me, my son and I, to go to Miami or to take a father and son trip for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm still getting some backslash off of that decision to go.
Why?
Because you're fussing that you get to go everywhere.
Oh, but it's true.
No, that's not true.
That's
I
going to be
always
an episode. Whenever the wife needs to go somewhere,
no.
she has to prepare the house.
No.
But when he leaves,
No.
it's pack a bag. I see y'all when I get.
No.
Baby,
Wait a
you
minute.
Good? You gonna be
Wait a
all
minute.
right?
Stop the press.
I know. I get the whole checking the dates and everything.
No. You forgot one thing.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
No.
Yes.
I always ask for permission to go.
That has nothing to do with what it takes for you to leave.
That does, because
You can pack a
cannot
bag
fuss at
and
me.
leave.
You cannot fuss.
I have to prepare meals.
Look,
house,
listen. But I always
kids.
wash the clothes before I leave.
That you do.
All right.
I will give you that,
Stop
brother.
the press.
I will give you
Stop
that.
the press. All right. So, this is my lovely son and I. We're about to. The pilot was actually an hour late, so I had something set up all for him. We went to the Miami Heat game. They played the Dallas Mavericks, and so here we are getting on the where were we? Oh, we were coming. We had our luggage and stuff, and we were on the tram going to pick up the rental car. So once we did that, we had to park at the fire station because my friend, my cousin, we're cousins now. His name is Iggy Carroll. He's the public relations person for the fire department in Miami. So very well respected in the neighborhood. In the community. So he got us some tickets. I didn't know what tickets he got, but he got us some tickets. And then when he asked for make sure we had our COVID test because of the seating that we had, I was like, he must have some pretty good tickets. So that's Christian. He's at the we're about to walk up across the street. I want to take a picture of him to prove that he was at the Miami game. So that's that one. Okay, so when we get in, right? He tells us to go to. Why are you looking like that?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
And looking at pictures.
He tells us to go to this gate 4.
Okay.
Gate 4, I found out, was the gate that all the kind of VIP people go through.
Mm-hmm.
So we walk in and we turn to the left. We walk down this hallway. Then we walk into this club, like bar, and just not. This wasn't a dancing club. It was like a club. It was like a bar restaurant type thing. Mm-hmm. So we walk in and we couldn't go in like to the stadium because they had the double glass door shut, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the entrance that the players walk through when they come. That's where their locker room is. So I'm like, oh my God.
Mm.
So Christian and I are just like in awe. And then we walk out onto the field, onto the floor, and I start taking pictures. Like we're literally in back of the players. And so we walk, and then we go to this other club. This was actually, I think, a club. But so Iggy starts introducing us to these millionaires.
Mm.
And I mean, like folks with money.
I believe it.
As our cousins.
Mm-hmm.
As and
Like,
you know, this
okay.
did something to Christian, and we'll talk about this later with our guests.
Mm-hmm.
But this did something for Christian. So we walk back out. We walk past Tom Joyner. Tom Joyner was the flight jock, was sitting in like right. Well, it's a guy in the corner right here. But it was that whole row of chairs. He was right by the basketball.
I believe you.
I'm like, man. So we're sitting in the stands, 7 rows up. We would have had the seats where Pat Riley sits at, the former coach of the Heat, but he wasn't. I guess they had already given those tickets away. But normally those are the tickets allocated to maybe the fire department, what have you.
Oh.
So big shout out to my new cousin, Iggy. That's him right there.
Mm-hmm.
You may have seen him when it came to the apartment building that fell
those
in
towers.
Yeah, those towers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was just towers, whatever. In
Miami.
in
Was it
the
Miami Beach?
it was Oceanside.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Oceanside.
So he was a public relations person for that, and you may have seen him.
You can Google him.
Yeah, you can Google him.
Look it up on YouTube.
So this photo right here. Okay, so you see there's 3 columns worth of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
These shoes are for only 3 of the players
On the team. Mm.
So each column, like if you zoom in, one is for PJ Tucker, one is for George, and I forgot who the other column of. So they literally come back here, choose what type of shoes they want to wear, go back. If they want to switch during halftime, they just go and switch shoes out.
And that's just for 3
That's
people.
just for 3 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we look here, the column in the back in the foreground, I guess that is the rest of the team's shoes.
Wow.
That's amazing to me.
Wow.
So then the next morning, my son and I, we get up, we have breakfast, and we have those lovely pancakes right there. They were great.
Oh, so nobody was on a diet.
So we then go on this speedboat tour, and it shows us where everybody, lived and stuff. However, this was probably the most funnest, if that's a word, experience that I've had, because we were zooming in the ocean, well, the bay, I should say, and this dude was doing all kind of tricks and stuff to the. Let's see if I can get it. So there he is. He was just swerving in the ocean, in the bay, and splashing water because we were sitting in there towards the back. And so he was like, well, because he said that's less bumpy. But it was less bumpy, but it got wet. So, I mean, I guess you got to take it back. Wet and smooth sailing, or you want to sit in the front and just be dry. But the crazy thing, it was raining when we pulled out the back. So everybody was a little wet. Right. So this is us. So the following day, we go out to the Everglades.
Okay.
And we see some crocodiles actually in the water. And he kept passing by him so we can get like photos, and every time he passed by, he would get closer, and one of the crocodiles actually got upset and opened up his mouth like he was about to do something.
Right.
So
he was sending a warning.
Yeah, he was sending a warning. So there's so this right here is where they do their little showcase the crocodiles. They actually are a what do you call it? when animals not shelter, I forgot the word that I want to use, but
A habitat?
no, yeah, where they rescue.
Rescue.
So they come in, like if a house has an alligator in front of their house, they come and rescue them and put them in there. And he was just showing us how to work with crocodiles, but then you don't want to work with crocodiles. So,
I'll stick with human.
Yeah. Then we went to this fantastic restaurant called the Red Rooster.
Yes.
The food there is fantabulous. It's the head chef is Marcus Samuelson out of New York.
The owner, proprietor.
Yes. Just awesome food. So
I think his main restaurant is in Harlem.
really,
Yeah, I believe the main location is in Harlem.
okay.
They had the best food. How I know this, we went last year as our getaway.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was a good trip last year.
And then we so the following day, I think this was Thursday, I wanted to make sure that Christian had a good beach experience. So we went actually from Miami, we drove up to Fort Lauderdale, and we had, because my cousin lives we drove up to Boca. My cousin lives in Boca Raton, so he recommended that we go eat on the beach. So we ate breakfast on the beach. There he is. That's my son. That's him. And then that's our breakfast. Again, pancakes, seagull. Yes. There he is walking on the beach. Then we were only 4 miles, and my guests would probably hate this, but we were only 4 miles from our ex-president's Mar-a-Lago residence or club or what have you. So
he has a mouthful. He has a mouth. He had to lick his lips. He's ready. He's ready.
So we were but hey, we were only 4 miles. Why not go see,
course.
and see what
Never know. You could have saw his hair blowing the wind.
Right. So then they had this awesome in another city. They had this awesome pinball museum where you can play all different type of pinball machines from different years, circles from like 1958 on up. They even had some of the old school games that we played as a child, like Centipede and Donkey Kong and all that. The arcade, that was really fun. So let's see here. This was my cousin. We ate dinner at a high-end restaurant in downtown Boca Raton. And thank you, my cousin, and thank you, Iggy, for giving us such a fantabulous time. And that's
Jen.
us. And Jen, and Jen. And my little nephew, Exie. So that's us coming back. And we just had a fun time. Ooh, that was a breath.
That was a lot.
So, we did that in order to teach our son, and some of the things that I taught him was table etiquette and how to talk to people, making first impressions, and yada yada yada. And so this is all a part of setting up a legacy, something that he can carry on to his children. What to do, how to spend time with. I mean, it was a great experience for us, and so I want to bring on our guests so that we can dive deeper into legacies, setting up legacies, not only just the wheels, but how do you set up a legacy? What is a legacy? We're going to talk about some sports stuff. So let's start off with the sports stuff. So I'm going to bring him on, but his name is Pastor Robert Bush. Let's see if I can get some hand claps here. Bam. All right, sir. Can you hear us, sir? Uh-oh.
He's frozen.
Is he froze?
He just froze up that quick.
He just froze up. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Let's go back to our...
Robert, if you're listening.
Thanks for joining us this week on Chris and Carlette Live. Make sure to...
Let's see. Hello? Let's see if we can have him log back off and log on. Let's see. Hold on. But while we wait, Carlette, you want to go ahead and take care of these technical difficulties?
Well, while we're waiting for to reset for our guests to come back in, this coming Saturday, Cooking with Carlette, this Saturday we'll be doing pineapple jam as well as you have a choice of beef or chicken soup. Learning how to can, you know, we're building pantries, nothing wasted, teaching you a skill trade. And this is actually, soon we'll be at a year with this class in a couple more months. Have some people register. We still have spots available again for Canning with Carlette. And you can find the link on Eventbrite to register. It's just a small nominal fee to support, as well as you'll be given what supplies is needed in the whole 9 yards. And you taught step by step. And of course, you have access with me. Once the class is over, you'll be given a link to the class that you registered for, so you can go back at any time you need and do more. So again, you can find Canning with Carlette on Eventbrite with a registration link. And it's this Saturday, the 26th of February at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So that's 9:30 Central, 7:30 Pacific. And I'm looking forward to having a good time. And we'd love for you to join us. Also, if you haven't done so already, please go to Chris and Carlette Live and like and subscribe on our Facebook and YouTube pages. And again, like and subscribe on Chris and Carlette Live on our Facebook and YouTube pages. And also share with your friends. You can share the link to through a text message, and they can just jump right on in if they don't want to search this very moment. But we're going to dig into this about legacy. I said to you all at the beginning of the year that we were going to dig into legacy. We're not getting a time limit on it. We may do one topic, then come back to it, revisit it. And so just wanted to say that legacy is very, very important. Hold on, Bree. Very, very important. We're having, again, technical difficulties trying to get our person back in. And so you sent him a new link? Okay.
All right, well, let's talk about while we get him on. What was your thoughts about Christian's experience?
Well, I think you're making memories. You are building the legacy that you've already established. Also, just to let everybody know, we didn't wait now to teach him manners and etiquette and table manners, table etiquette. But it's just you have to keep reiterating that stuff. They don't get it the first time, or they may even have in their mind, okay, when will I ever do this in life? And then he shake hands with millionaires, and then you say, then it's like, man, we got to break bread with him. He made that statement. Okay, you want to break bread with him? Okay, well, you need to sharpen up on this. And so I think that was very good of you to take the time out. And then it's just not there in public. It's done in private. So when you go to public, you're already prepared. So yes, put the napkin on the lap. Do all that stuff, and not wait till you're out in public to, oh yeah, let me remember how to do this, that, and the other. So if you practice at home, is second nature to you. Okay, it's a life skill. So I commend you for doing that, and just your way. I'm grateful that he's open to it as well. Mm-hmm. So.
Let's see here. I think one of the things for me was that Christian had like this epiphany.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
Like
he called me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't tell me.
He called
that.
me several times. Just to the extent, Mama, oh, you can't believe what just happened, and all that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think for me, it was just like when he said we need to break bread with, that was like just like, man, it was just like, like just shocking, like that at his age, trying to make connections and trying to, will and deal with we're just gonna have to call our guest. So let's do that. Let's connect this to my. I think it's just like because he was saying that make breaking bread, and he wants to wheel and deal with millionaires. It just was like, wow, really? You're thinking like that. You're thinking like a millionaire. You're thinking like someone who wants to really go out there and make those connections. So I'm just gonna call him for now. Let's see here, and we're gonna just dial him in.
This is Robert.
Hey, sir, how you doing? Sorry about all the technical stuff. That error I have not seen. So
Yeah, it keeps giving me an error message that says it's almost like you and I don't know if it's saying that you and I can't log on from the same link,
oh,
but it's saying can't log on from that link. So you
okay.
just sent another one too, right?
Yeah, I just sent another one, but we have you on live, so I mean, while we talk, you can try to log in on that.
Okay.
So, when it comes to let's first touch on give us your bio. Give us your bio. Who you are, what you do. We know you pastor, and I know you do much more than that. You stay busy.
Yeah, well, we moved to Las Vegas to start a church that we'll be relaunching after probably in a couple of months. But we shut it down because of COVID and went online. And now we're in preparation for a television show. And so the name of the church is called Fountain of Grace. And we're really excited about what God is going to do. This is an area in Las Vegas that I grew up in Las Vegas. I went to high school and college in Las Vegas. And so I'm excited about being back home and being here with my family. And one of the other things that we do is that we're very much into the fight for social justice. Mm-hmm. And so we lead Reverend Sharpton's Las Vegas chapter of National Action Network, which is an organization that I believe is on the front lines and which is the premier civil rights organization in the country, founded by Reverend Sharpton in 1991. And it was built on the spirit and tradition of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to promote modern civil rights agenda that includes the fight for one standard of justice and decency and equal opportunity and citizenship, criminal record, economic status, gender, and sexuality is not an issue. We'll fight for anyone. I recently had a guy come to me whose son was shot by the police here in Pahrump, and it broke my heart because he said, I'm calling you and I'm white, and you guys help white people too. Mm-hmm. And we jumped in the fight for him, and now getting him justice, getting him lawyers, and getting him the help that he needs in order to fight the case for his son. His name is Rick Nelson, and I'm sure he doesn't mind me mentioning his name. But wow. but we will fight for anyone, mm-hmm. race, creed, or color, and we like to say we go from the streets to the suites. Mm-hmm. And so you guys have heard of the fight that Reverend Sharpton is in with the NFL right now, and the NFL owners in regards to the black coach Brian Flores, mm-hmm. who was he was given an interview even though the job was already taken.
Right.
Yeah. And so we're there is right now a disproportionate, about 75% of the NFL is black. Mm-hmm. And I think now we have 3 black coaches. Mm-hmm. And now Mike Tomlin is getting a lot of heat for hiring Brian Flores as an assistant coach, and who could blame him for hiring the Mike Tomlin, who has never had a losing season in Pittsburgh,
right?
And destined for the Hall of Fame, and he decided that he was going to hire a black coach, and so people are on him about that. But even if Mike Coach was like, I'm going to hire this dude just because he's black, can you blame him?
Mm-mm.
When nobody else has given us an opportunity in the NFL? But those are the kind of things that we fight for. In addition to, of course, you've heard about the Ahmaud Arbery case and the Eric Garner case and the things that Reverend Sharpton that we do nationwide. Well, those are the things that we do on a ground level here in Las Vegas, and we're very proud. Listen, of all the things that I do, all the things that I love to do, the thing that I love more than anything else that I do is my work with National Action Network and the fight for civil rights and equal rights for everyone.
Wow.
So let me ask you this, still in the industry of sports, mainly the NFL, what, I still don't understand why they did, they're doing all this stuff now, but it's almost like Colin Kaepernick is not going to be given another chance. And I don't think, but he's the one that spearheaded this movement this time around. So, but no one will still give him a chance. It's like, you don't hire him. You don't put him on your team.
Yeah. Colin Kaepernick now is in a very unique situation that he took a stand for equal rights, and then they judged him on the wrong thing. Yeah. They judged him for taking a knee. They said against the flag, but his taking a knee had nothing to do with the flag. Mm-hmm. It had to do with the way that black folks were being treated. Mm-hmm. The way that black folks were being treated, and now he's been ostracized from the league, and now he's in a very unique situation where he's been out of the league for so long that he probably will never get another chance to play football again.
Right.
Thank God there's, of course, the Netflix paid him very handsomely, and Nike's paid him very handsomely. Mm-hmm. And so he's made a great amount of money within this fight and taking a stand, but not as much money as he would have made as a quarterback in the NFL with his gift.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, we watched the series on Netflix. It was really good. We did it in one day. It was really good. It was one of those things that you were like, oh, I want to see the next episode, And it would help us to understand. And I like how he narrated through each episode. It was good. It was really good.
So, as we move, digress to legacy. You saw the photos. You saw the experience with my son. When it comes to legacy, what would you say your definition of legacy and setting up a legacy for your children, your children's children, and so forth?
Well, let me first say, if I may, that time that you spent with your son is a time that he will always remember for the rest of his life. Mm-hmm. There's a commercial that said MasterCard is priceless. Well, that time with your son is going to be priceless for him, and it is going to leave a legacy. And basically, I see legacy as us putting a stamp on the future and making a contribution to future generations in our family, and that people want to leave a legacy because they want to feel that their life mattered, and it should matter most with our family. Mm-hmm. And I even think deciding what your legacy will be is part of the most important part. Even deciding that you want to leave a legacy, and some of us start a little later in life because of whatever circumstances, but that I think on my vision board, I have my tombstone, and I have I've written out what I want people to say
Mm-hmm.
about me or what I want on my tombstone. And that would be my legacy
Mm-hmm.
of what I left behind for my family and what I left behind for friends and the mark that I left on this earth. And once you know what you want your legacy to be, then you can start building it.
Wow. So if do you equate like monetary savings to legacy? Like some people may get it mixed up to say, well, I think a legacy is, leaving my children an inheritance, a physical, tangible, it goes. And so what you're saying is it goes much more further than that as far as creating these memories, correct?
It goes so much further than that. And I think you can break it down into two parts. One, the legacy in terms of the character that you leave behind, and then the other is the legacy in terms of the monetary legacy that you leave behind. If I can, I had a friend. His name was Anthony McRoy, Bobby McRoy, who I grew up with, and their father Alex passed away recently, and Alex was a great father to them, a great man. But somewhere along the line, as Alex was getting older and we were growing up, we realized that, to a lower level of consciousness, that our generation and the friends that I was around and the people that I was around, that we had to take our place in our families and African American leadership. And every generation has to realize when it's time to take their place. Alex was a nice man. He was a great man. But what our fathers gave us when we were growing up, mm-hmm. what my father gave me, let me just talk about my father gave me and what Alex passed along to his family is their legacy. And that's what we have to pass along to our sons. When I look at the friends that I grew up with, I see a lot of pride in their families. And my father always told me to have pride in my last name, pride in the last name, and pride in what it represents, mm-hmm. pride in my race, and pride even in what I believe. My father wasn't a spiritual man. As a matter of fact, my father was an atheist almost up until the day that he died.
Wow!
And I can remember being in Florida because I used to manage gospel groups, and they told me he's not going to make it. And I wanted to get home, and because I felt like if I got home and got to my father's bedside and led him to the Lord, even if he couldn't hear me, that his spirit could hear me. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want his legacy to be that he was an atheist and that he was unsaved. Mm-hmm. And so my father had also said, if they pull the plug, or if they want to put me on a respirator or on life support, don't do it, pull the plug. Mm-hmm. And so that's exactly what my mother did. And she did it before I got home. Oh, and wow. I was angry with my mother for a really long time mm-hmm. for doing that, because I just needed to get to his bedside. Wow. But then we were going through my father's things, right? Mm-hmm. And I can remember going through my father's thing in his computer, and my father in his last days had logged on to Crenshaw Christian Center's website, mm-hmm. faithzone.com, and he accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior through faithzone.com, and there was a certificate sitting right there.
Wow.
Of him having accepted Jesus Christ. Well, do you know what that did? That said to my brothers, my father left behind a legacy that says it's okay to be saved. I did it, and you can do it too.
Yeah.
And so I see a lot of us who grapple with jobs and careers and white society and family and relationship, but there's a mental toughness that our fathers have given us. Mm-hmm. A mental toughness that he gave us that says it's okay to do certain things. My father didn't go to college. He didn't go to college, but he was raised, in segregation and even under Jim Crow laws. Mm-hmm. and there was a lot of obstacles that became successes, but he overcame it, and he taught us he gave us a legacy of never quitting. Listen, my father was in the Air Force, and I got to get up every morning without a clock, without an alarm clock, because I don't believe in being alarmed when I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
But he gave us that's part of my legacy, is getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, no matter how much sleep I've gotten, to get to work and to grind real hard, which is what my father did. Mm-hmm. And I believe that legacy is much more than money. Your legacy, when you realize that you should leave a legacy, it will allow you to start doing what matters right now.
Yep.
Right now. Knowing what you want your legacy to be will allow you to make a better use of your time and your other resources. It will influence even your day-to-day decisions in a positive way. Mm-hmm. You have to have clarity. You have to have clarity on what you want your legacy to be, to give your life meaning and purpose.
Wow.
Okay, so today at work, one of my goals for 2022 with the company was I wanted to share at least once a month a positive moment on our team at work, the team of nurses. And today I sent them a quote, and it says something. I'm gonna read it. Days are expensive. When you spend a day, you have one less day to spend. So make sure you spend each one wisely. And that came from I forget his name, Ronism. They call them Ronisms or something, or Ronism. So anyway, and so I was telling them, I said, we can get money back, but you can't get time back. Mm-hmm. You can't. Yeah. And I was looking at somebody this weekend saying how he orders his day, even for breaks. He scheduled breaks. He calls them power breaks. And he does not, he said, I don't care what I'm doing. I stop. I take my break. I don't say, I can do it some other time, or no, he stops and takes his break. And he noticed he is more productive when his day is organized. He gives everything a time limit, his appointments. He tells everybody, let's do this. Okay, let me check my calendar. That's always his response. Let me check my calendar. He will not move his break for an appointment. It either fits in that day, or it goes to another day, or and I just thought that was wonderful. The thought of that, I'm gonna really take my lunch at 12. Oh, okay. I'm gonna really take a nap at 3. Oh, okay. Whatever. That's something. It's a good habit to develop. It really is, and that goes into the legacy of spending your time wisely. Admitting when something is a waste of your time. We're not even talking about money. We're just talking about time, which is invaluable. And so that I just want to share that. I did that today at work. Mm-hmm. And I got a response. They were like, I got very good responses from that one. Now, the one I did last month, I basically told them, stop playing yourself with these new year, new yous. Just do what you need to do. But this month it was, value your days, basically.
You know what? I love that a lot. I love that a lot. If you were to talk to my wife, she will tell you I am an organization fanatic. I'm an organization fanatic. I plan everything out. There are 8,760 hours in a year. 8,760. I think there's 700 and something. I think 780 hours in a month. But I plan everything out to the very letter, including my fun time, including my date night, including the times that I call my kids. And it seems like, why do you got to plan that out? Because if I don't plan it out, then I'll forget to call them. If I don't plan it out, then I'll forget to call mom. But I have them not only in a written down planner, but also in an online planner that has alarms that pop up to remind me to do things. Yeah. And then I have a sign that sits over my desk that says, do it now. Mm-hmm. Do it now. Because if you put it off or you don't do it, then all of a sudden you're off track, or all of a sudden you don't do the thing that you probably most certainly should do. And so the guy that you're talking about, that's my kind of guy.
Yeah. I'm trying to even remember where. I think I might have been a TikTok for all I know.
So let me ask you this, Pastor Bush, is that a learned behavior or an inherited or inert or instinctive behavior?
I'm going to say both. I'm going to say both, because I think that first of all, you have to have the desire to want to do it. You have to have the desire to want to do it. And you have to have the desire to be able to invest in yourself to be able to do it. And more than the desire, you have to know the importance of it, of how it's going to affect your life. And, when I started to realize that I wanted more, and that I was spending so many days wasting time, as Sister Carlette said, that you can't get back. When those hours are gone, when those days are gone, you can't get back. How many of us have spent 2 or 3 months and not know what we accomplished in those 2 or 3 months? Right. And before you know it, we've gotten through a year, and it's like, I can't believe that year got by me so fast. And what have we got to show for it?
Right.
You guys remember? You guys ever watched Dead Poet Society?
I did.
Dead Poet Society. Dead Poet Society is a film that's set in 1959, somewhere around there. It's a film that stars Robin Williams.
Yes.
Robin Williams was John Keating. He was an English teacher, and he was trying to inspire students through the teaching of poetry. And in one of the scenes, he talks to the students about the meaning of life. And he has a quote from Walt Whitman, from a poem that Walt Whitman did. I think the poem is called "O Me, O Life" or something like that. And it goes. Let me see if I can, because I got it somewhere. But it says, "Oh life, the questions of these reoccurring, of the endless trains, of the faithless of cities filled with the foolish. What good are you?" It says something like that. What good are you, O life? And that you are here, that life exists, and identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. And so he uses that verse to say that the poems, the poem explains that life is like a play, and everyone who has ever lived gets to contribute one verse of life in that play. And then he asks the students, what will your verse be? What is the verse that you're going to contribute to the play of life? And that's your legacy.
That's good. That's good.
We all get to contribute something.
Yeah, we do.
And so what are you going to contribute? And I think the organization piece goes hand in hand, because you have to know what you want to do every single day in order to accomplish something every single day, or to max out that day. That's what I should say.
Do you do vision boards?
I do. I have 2 vision boards in my office. I wish I could show you my office, but I have 2 vision boards that sit right behind me, and I update those vision boards at the beginning of every year. Wow! Because they change as you grow. Your vision board changes. Yeah, and we have to see. Obama said it's like a relay race. It's like a relay race that we get to accomplish all that we can, and pass the baton to your son, pass the baton to my son. And as we pass that baton, he says the world gets a little bit better every year. Listen, if we don't pour this into our kids, like my son, one of my sons lives in Pittsburgh. And like your son, he's going to remember, he's going to grow up one day and be out of the house. And he's going to say, Dad, I remember when we did this, this, and this, and this. And you took me. My son's part of my legacy is that when I was promoting gospel concerts, I would take my son to every single thing that I did. Wow. Every event. And so he saw how I did business. He saw how I interacted with people. He saw how I or both my sons, Nathan and Antoine. And now Nathan is a police officer in Pittsburgh, and Antoine runs a series of Verizon stores also in Pittsburgh. But what he says is, he said, the only reason I'm a success, Dad, is because I saw how you do business, and I was able to hang out with you. Mm-hmm. And your son will remember that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would say, go ahead.
And you know what he's doing now? I got my little grandson, and he's gonna pass that along to his son.
Right.
That's good.
One of the things, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, not all legacy is good. Okay, you can have a legacy of being a liar. You can have a legacy of being a thief. Whatever. It's not always good. So if you know that that's in the legacy of, just say, your family, your household, you have the opportunity, and if you want to if it comes to your mind to change the narrative of the family legacy, you can do it. Mm-hmm. If it comes to your mind, you may not know how to do it, but you know that something needs to change. Mm-hmm. And so you can pray and ask God to send people into your life that knows what you're trying to do and that can help navigate you, coach you, steer you in the right direction. Mm-hmm. You just know you need to change and you want something different. Mm-hmm. Or your family could have something good, but you like, okay, we have something good, but now I'm ready for the great. Yeah. And so that good foundation you have is good. But now you need to be stretched to make it great, so that it affects the next, something you can seriously pass down. Like all these GoFundMes for funerals, and it's sad to say, it's like you need a plan as soon as your child is born. You need a plan. I don't care if it's a $10,000 plan, policy. You need something when people are born. In this day and age that we live in. And so you have all these GoFundMe. And one thing I learned in college, people have money for what they want.
Yes.
They have money for what they want. I didn't understand how we were starving. Well, I wasn't. But people were starving college students. Okay. But when it was time for them to pledge, whatever, they had money for that initiation. They had money to buy all the stuff that they needed to for while they were online, gifts and surprises they needed to do. They had money for their step shows. They had money for hair. I mean, they had money for what they wanted. But they yet come borrow $10 for you from gas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as you guys know, I believe in multiple streams of income. And so I have 5 streams of income right now. But one of the streams of income that I recently got into was that my was financial planning. Mm-hmm. And the girl that introduced me to my son's mother was living in Minnesota, and she died. She passed away, and they had to do a GoFundMe page to ship her body back to Chicago and then do her burial. And I recently had 2 other friends in the last 6 months that have had to do GoFundMe pages to do their final expenses. And I realized that one of the things that our parents didn't teach us was they didn't pass along the secret to wealth. They didn't pass along a legacy of making sure the Bible says that we should lay up an inheritance for our children's children. Well, nobody taught us how to do that. Nobody taught us how to do that. And I always tell people that the secret of the Rockefellers is that they built their wealth on what they call a family bank and also on life insurance and annuities. One of the worst places that we've been taught to put our money there because we don't know any better, but we've been taught to put our money in 401ks and 403Bs.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know that there is a clause in your 401k that says that your company can take your 401k and they can spend it on whatever they want, and they have years, sometimes 5 to 7 years, to pay you back.
Mm.
It's a little clause that we don't even look at in every 401k, that money can be used by your company for whatever they need. If the company is getting ready to go under, they can take all the employees' 401ks and they can use that money to bail the company out, and they have years to pay them back. The other thing about a 401k is that as the market goes up, your money goes up. As the market goes down, your money goes down. And there's safer ways to put your money in that have, the people don't know that there are guaranteed vehicles out there that will pay you from 5 to 7% guaranteed per year, where there is no losses.
Yep.
People don't know that you can do final expenses for as little as $25 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I just said my son had I told my son, I said, look at little Saya. Saya is his name. And if you start putting right now at $35 a month until he's 18 with compound interest, little Saya will be a millionaire by the time he graduates from high school.
Starting at what age?
Now, he's 2 now.
He's 2. Okay.
He's 2 now. You can start it a little bit later, but you have to put more in for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to start with more. But listen, Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world.
Mm.
The 8th wonder of the world. And it is a wonderful thing when you start compounding and compounding and compounding and building. And listen, and that's the secret of the Rockefellers, is compound interest, life insurance policies, and annuities. Mm-hmm. And building what as a new term that a lot of us don't know about is called a family bank. And a family bank is a family-funded entity that offers financing only to family members. Like if you build a family bank and you put your money in that, tell me how much your bank paid you last year in your savings account, or even in your 401k, or how much money did you make? Most of us probably made very, very little.
Because they use our savings account to trade.
Mm-hmm.
We use our savings account. Yes, they use our savings account to trade, but just with the interest is not very much. If you have $1,000, or let's even lose a bigger number, $10,000 in your savings account, your bank probably paid you something ridiculous like $5.
Mm-hmm. Well,
to keep your money.
What about CDs?
CDs are good. I prefer annuities because annuities are so what we need is we need vehicles. There's vehicles there like annuities where you can put your money into that annuity, and there's vehicles that you can draw your money out and use. So how much money? So let's just say, I'm going to give you an example. Let's just say you have a 401k, and in that 401k, you have accumulated $500,000, and you want to draw that money out.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that are you going to get?
Probably about $387,000.52,
or less.
Yeah.
Or less. You're going to lose probably at least half of it.
Yeah.
To taxes and things like that.
Yeah, the taxes.
But there's vehicles that you can use your money, that you can put your money into, that where that money, you can draw that money out, and the government can't take your money.
They can't take it because it's
they can't take.
Yeah, post tax.
Yeah.
Post tax. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so we need to teach our people what those vehicles are, and how to keep their money safe and safe from the government. That's the secret. Listen, I wasn't mad at Donald Trump. The only thing that I agree with him on, well, I agree with him on two things. One, that you should have multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is that there's vehicles set up where you don't have to pay taxes. And if the law is there and you know how to use that law, I'm not mad at them for using that law.
Right.
But we haven't been taught how to use those laws. And for most of us, it doesn't really make that much difference because we don't have enough money to worry about.
Wow. Well,
But that's part of our legacy.
Exactly. And that goes back to what I'm saying. There is some bad legacy that,
Yes.
I saw this thing that said, God will use you to be the one to show your family what abundant living is like. He will use you. He'll use one person in the family to show your family what it looks like. Now, are you going to go through something? Absolutely, because you have to shed dead weight that was passed on to you in that legacy. It could be sleeping habits. It could be like a studying habit. You have to build muscle that you didn't know existed. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. And you may even have to get rid of some people.
Absolutely.
Just so when you're shedding things,
yeah,
you may even have to get rid of some people.
Mm-hmm.
But we have some bad habits that are naturally built in to our family fabric. Mine might be different than yours. Yours might be different than somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That, as you say, we have to get rid of, and we have to. But most of it is learned habits.
Yeah.
Most of it is learned habits. For example, a learned habit is that most of us haven't taught the etiquette of tipping in a restaurant.
Exactly.
It's a learned habit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a learned habit, and we have some of those learned habits that we do just because that's what we saw somebody else do, or that's what we were taught to do by our parents.
Now, I did teach. I think one day I told Christian to tip him, and I forgot where we. I think we might have been in a Chinese restaurant, and he brought back the receipt, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you tipped him too much."
It was like
but yesterday, while we were in Miami, that's one of the things I showed him that, nowadays though, they're taking gratuities straight, even if it's just two people. Yeah, they're taking 18 and 20% off.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're going to get it. We don't have to wait on you. We're going to take it for you.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. They're famous for that in Miami.
Yeah. That's what they experience. That's what you all experience.
Mm-hmm.
And they hope that you don't catch it so that you tip them 20% too.
No, I caught that.
Mm-hmm. Robert, I would love for you to come back on and we divert to the financial aspect. I think it's nothing wrong with talking about. We had a financier on last year, in January, actually last year. That was, I'm telling you, he had the answer for COVID, how to survive financially in COVID. He did. It was amazing. He was out of LA, and he works at Chris's job. You know where Chris works, and that proprietor, we can't mention that. But I would love for you to come back and talk about that. And and even offer your services. People can call you and maybe.
Why don't he go? What you want to go ahead and put that out there now, Pastor Bush?
Well, what
I would love
business?
to. Yes. So I would, if I could just give them my email or my telephone number, would that be okay?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
And we
cool.
can we'll type it in the chat.
Cool. So it's Lord Bush and Randolph.
More.
He's Lord Bush and Randolph.
Lord Bush
LLC. Lord Bush and Randolph LLC. And my email is rbush@lordbushrandolph.com.
rbush. I'm trying to type fast.
At lordbushrandolph.com. And then my telephone number is 323-633-7310.
Did you type that?
No, I thought you were. Okay, say that one more. 323
323-633-7310.
731.
And ask me about how to set up the family bank.
Yeah. That's good. That's real good. That's real good.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
probably have to call you after
Yeah,
this
we're
show.
gonna call you about that. I mean, it's so many. I don't want to get into this. Let's save that for the part 2, the financial legacy, and then we can, you go in that direction you want to go. Yeah.
So I do have one question though.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a 401k, and my employer matches it. It's free money. So do I need to stop the 401k?
What we would do is have you take your 401k and roll it over. And listen, I have some companies that the moment that you roll your 401k over, they will give you 10% of whatever you roll over immediately.
Wow.
Immediately. Listen, for teachers and nurses who are doing 401ks or 403bs, we're rolling them over like candy.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do they get 10%, but also they're putting their money into guaranteed vehicles where they're not going to lose any money, and they can use that money. Listen, when you have an emergency, right? You want to be able to use your money without being dinged by the government.
Yeah, so that's one of the things we ran into. So like for my employer, you have to have this, like you can only get money from your 401k under 3 things. I think one is a medical emergency, the other one is for education, and the other one is for housing.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, you can't even request for any money. And then on top of that, they still ding you with when you withdraw it.
But
Yeah,
you have to pay it back. And
No. I can take a loan against it.
Oh.
With no problem. But when it comes to actually withdrawing it where I don't have to pay it back, then that's when they penalize you, as well as
the tax.
The tax. Yeah. So the loan, well, when I take a loan, I'm actually paying myself back with interest. So
yeah, you're paying yourself back.
Yeah. So what we would do is we'd have to make so because 90% of the time, you can roll it over without being dinged, and then now that money is available for you to use.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So what you would want to really do is roll it over. You don't want to pull it out. You want to roll it over.
Right.
Okay. Can you put us on your schedule, sir?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did I hear Lady Carlette say she was a nurse?
Yes, sir.
You did? Listen, I want you to talk to Melinda Blue Taylor.
Okay.
One of the things that you said is that you, as you are moving, you have to have people that are that help teach you what you need to know.
Right.
Mentors.
Yes.
Mentors. We all, no matter what level of life we're in, we have to have mentors. I have 2 mentors that are both 80 plus years old.
Wow.
And I have one mentor. My financial mentor is 38 years old, but has made $80 million over the last 10 years.
Wow.
I was like, you can mentor me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to have mentors. But Melinda Blue Taylor, who is one of my mentors, she was a former nurse administrator. And now she's a financial beast and guru.
Oh yeah, me and her need to talk because
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
if you know this. I just passed the real estate exam 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we need to talk.
Okay.
We need to talk off air.
Okay.
Right quick. One more question. When it comes to legacy and the things that my son saw while in Miami, not just the women that are out there, but
Lord help us. Lord help us.
They are in Miami.
Yes, and I'm like, dude, stay focused. No, but when it comes to interaction with the millionaires, can you give some advice? Like, what should you do when you like to establish that connection and to like really interact and setting off a good first impression?
Well, say it like this.
How can you get in their pockets?
No,
I'm just kidding.
No. You want what's in their mind.
Right.
The thing about it, how we really need to say this is, Pastor Bush, how do you entertain as a millionaire? How do you? What makes you be entertained by somebody like a Christian? You know, what are you looking for? What would gain your attention that you would spend at least 15 minutes? You give them 15 minutes of your time. And then what would they have to do to get an hour? You know what I mean? So you as a millionaire. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So for me, you can never deny somebody that says, I want to learn from you. I want to learn from you. And so when somebody comes to me and they say, hey, I understand that you're in this area of business or you're doing this in the community, would you teach me what you know, or would you be my mentor? Can I come hang out with you sometime? Right? Because now it doesn't sound like they're interested in my money, but they're interested in me and what I do and how that can, like they say, if I can teach you to fish, I can do a lot more for you than feeding you.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're as black fathers, a lot of times we are expected to be near perfect. We want to be James Evans, have the strength of James Evans or the wisdom of Dr. Huxtable.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be, the intelligence of Uncle Phil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have to embody qualities and be more than we're able to live up to a lot of times. And sometimes our sons just want to see us be real. To see us be real, that we don't know anything. Listen, I would have no challenges being in front of anyone, meeting someone and saying, and I've done it. I've met people and that are very famous and said, hey, could I just have 15 minutes of your time? I just want to know what you know.
That's good.
Like they used to say in the church, I just want to sit at the spout where the glory's blowing out.
Sit at your feet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sit at the feet. Yeah. And just learn what you learn. And if I can learn what you learn, then I can get it on my own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the last thing that they want, is to feel like they're being used because they're famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or because they have something. God has blessed me tremendously to be able to be in some spaces with some great men and very famous men. My entertainment background and career, not just in gospel and secular music, has allowed me to be in some very famous people. And I made the mistake of trying to follow somebody or be around somebody just because they were famous. But when I was like, okay, I'm just going to hang out with this person, because they say if you're the smartest person in the room, then you need another room. If you're the smartest person in your group, you need another group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I love being around people that are smarter than I am, that have more than I have, just to be able to learn from them and not necessarily ask anything from them. If I can just be in the room, I'll get what I need.
Wow.
All
It
right.
sounds like you met the right people with Uncle, Cousin Iggy.
Yep,
Mhm.
cousin Iggy.
Cousin Eagle.
Hmm.
Cousin Iggy, listen,
We met
Cousin
him.
Iggy.
We met them through
I have
camping.
seen.
We
Oh,
met
you met
them
him through camping?
with our
Yeah.
camping. Yes, a camp family.
Okay.
We all connected. Him, his wife, me, Chris, and we just connected like instantly.
Listen, I would be friends with cousin Iggy and just say, hey, I just want to rub elbows with you. I just want to know how you got to where you got,
Hmm.
and if you teach me that, I can get it on my own.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But you know, the saying goes that we're only five people
Yes.
from anybody that you want to reach in the world,
Mm. I'm so glad you
right?
said that. I'm so glad you said that because I'm trying to find somebody, and I'm gonna put it out there. I'm trying to find the lady. She was my mentor at age 12, 13 years old. She was the wife of a doctor. He's now deceased. But they divorced some time ago. But that woman put a seed in me. I promise. Her name was Charlzetta Umalu. Charlzetta Umalu. I was told she's here in Atlanta. I've been trying to find her. I don't know. I don't know her maiden name. I only know I don't know if she went back to her maiden name. But Umalu is spelled Umolu. I just want to say, I want to say to her, thank you. She planted a seed in me at age 12, 13-year-old. And I'm going to tell you how it started. I want to work for her she had an art gallery in Michigan City. And I told her, I forgot what I want. I wanted to work for her. I wanted to do something. She told me I had to get a B. She said, what's the subject you're struggling in? And that year, I think it was algebra. It was something. She said, you get at least a B. You get a B out that class, you can come work for me. I went to my teacher. I told her, listen, I need to finish your class with a B. I said, listen, tutor me, give me extra credit, whatever. You better believe I got a B. You better believe I went and I worked with that lady. But it went a step further. She taught me. She taught me things. She taught me how to dress like a Black professional woman. She took me in places. I'm serious. She sold time with me. And she paid me. She paid me in that summer. And with that money, I bought my school clothes. And I bought my school clothes from the places she took me shopping.
How you spell that name?
Charlzetta.
C-H.
Charlesetta. And I never forget that. Now I am now over 40. We've written a book. We got this show. I want her to see, because I really believe, I want to say thank you.
How you spell the last name?
Umolu. And so,
how do you spell the last name?
Umolu. She was a member of the NAACP. I mean, you got to think, we were in a small, predominantly white town, and she had a Black art gallery. I used to help her when she used to have her shows and the art pieces. I was her secretary. It was really, I was only like 12, 13 years old, and I met her in church. And I was so enamored by her. I loved her style. I did. She was just laid back. She was a professor. She was sharp. I liked it, I liked her style. I liked Claire Huxtable. She was my other little image. I hate to say that, but I believe a lot of Black girls looked up to be a Claire Huxtable, to go to bed in silk pajamas and her cookware. I have purchased the cookware that she had. It was La Creuset. I have purchased that. Yes, I have, because I never forgot that. And so, it's just stuff like that. And hear me good. A spiritual legacy, one of God, is necessary and needed. But there is even more that you build upon. He comes that we might have life and have it more abundantly.
Yeah.
And to know what that is. What is abundant life? And there is resources in the earth for us to learn and not be ignorant. You know, God, enlarge my territory. Okay, so this is what it takes to enlarge your territory. Am I making sense?
You're making a lot of sense. You're making a lot of sense. And, you know, we think we want to get it or do it one way, or that it needs to be done one way. And God has many ways to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Many ways to get it done. And listen, I always say, if you have $1 today and you have $2 tomorrow, you've prospered.
That's good.
If you're going through PTSD today and you're better tomorrow, you've prospered.
You prosper.
And I just think that we have to listen. I'm going to say this. Somebody out there is going to hear you, right? Looking for Charlette Umalu.
Yes.
And they're going to call you and say, I know where she is.
Will she be 75?
That sounds about right. She should be. Yeah, she should be about 75.
She may live in Marietta.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, she should be about 75.
And then she had a 219 number.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I believe it. She has a daughter, some grandkids. Mm-hmm. The grandkids should be good and grown now.
Her last name is Gibson. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so there you go.
Last name is Gibson?
Yeah, Charlette Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Let me turn it around. Yep, that is her.
There you go.
Wow.
All you had to do was ask your husband. Well, Pastor Bush, I know it's late and it's early your time because you're out in Vegas. So, but we want to thank you for
Oh my God,
being a part of our show, Chris and Carlette Live. So we appreciate you.
Yes.
And Carlette said there's going to be a part 2.
There is a part 2, and let's plan it out. So you can market it as well because of what you want to share. Am I making sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Well, thank you guys for having me. Mm-hmm. I really appreciate it. And I'm so proud of what you guys are doing. And Chris, you know, I've always been a fan of your work. So
thank you, sir.
I think and God is taking it to another level, taking you guys to another level. And I pray that you guys don't get weary in well doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We received that. Thank you.
So we'll call you right after we end the broadcast and set up some time to meet with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
We'll talk.
All right.
Thank you guys very much.
All right.
Talk to you.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bless you.
Wow. Information. Like, you know what? Thank you, William O'Brien Blakely. Thank you.
That's my cousin, Billy.
Great information. I don't understand. Maybe we don't market ourselves well enough.
Who is we?
You and I, Chris and Carlette Live show.
Okay.
But it's
yes,
the information that we provide to our listeners, our viewers.
And 5 people show up.
Yeah, it's just maybe we have to.
But we tell them Denise is gonna be on, and we have 100.
You know what? What I'm gonna do? This is what I'm gonna do. The next show.
Oh Lord, you gonna say
the marketing flyer is going to say sex.
Oh my goodness!
And watch how many people tune in.
Hey, it's a value system. Yeah. You know, people like, oh, I already know that. I don't want to.
That's why we need to be syndicated. That's my desire. That's on my vision board for us to be syndicated.
We will be.
Right here from home.
We will be.
We could be like.
We will be.
We could be like.
Tom Joyner.
Tom Joyner, right? Tom Joyner. What's his name? Steve Harvey. Broadcast from home.
Yeah, he sure does. He
all
sometimes be on
these
his treadmill.
Yeah, Tracy Williamson. She broadcasts from home. No,
she does.
But she does. Okay,
mm-hmm. And she got Culinary Cutie. We got Cannon with Carlette.
Yeah,
we got that this Saturday. Mm-hmm. We got that this Saturday. I talked about it earlier, but you can register on Eventbrite. Cannon with Carlette.
I mean, we give good information.
And then 5 people show up. That's
Yeah,
all right.
5
If
people
we said
show
we
up.
was having prizes, they show up.
Renelle and didn't even show up.
Maybe she busy. She had to work late.
No, that's my
Okay.
favorite cousin.
Okay.
And
You-
China,
Maybe she busy.
my other favorite cousin, and Keisha. Like,
It's all about what people want to listen to. That is true. That is true, Billy. You're right. Well, listen, we're gonna
yo mama.
Okay, we're gonna close out at this time. Now we really about to close. Okay. See, now he played too much.
I said yo mama.
Okay. All right. So now we about to close, and since you don't, y'all have a good night. I see whoever's gonna show up
Thank
this Saturday.
y'all.
Love y'all. Stay in the face of God. Hear His voice.
Yes.
Pray to the Lord. Call on Him. Seek Him while He may be found, and call on Him while He is near.
Yes.
Okay. We love you all.
Next week. What is next week? Next week is next week we're talking about sea moss.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Make sure you tune in. Bill, if you're still watching, you need some sea moss in your
I think
life.
Bill is gone.
Yeah, probably so. But Bill, you need some sea moss in your life. It'll do you good.
CMOS changes lives.
All right. Peace out. We love y'all.
Thanks for joining us this week on Chris and Carlette Live. Make sure to visit our website, chrisandcarlette.com. If you're on Facebook, share this broadcast. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our show. You may also find us on Apple Podcast, where you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Let us stay in contact with you by texting CNC Live to 474747. That's CNC Live to 474747.
CNC Live.